Hello, my name is Chris Neely here at Rapid7. And in today's short video, I'm going to be showing you how you can gain all-important visibility of your external attack surface. And we're going to be using Rapid7's attack surface management product known as Surface Command to provide that visibility. And I'll cover three easy steps. The first step is entering seed data information, so the product knows what and where to scan to give you that visibility. Then we're going to dive into Surface Command and ensure that that data is being loaded into Surface Command through our connectors. And then lastly, I'm going to show you how you can interact with the data, looking for insights and areas of action. So let's start with the first point, and how do we enter seed information? So here you can see under the command platform, we want to go to external attack surface, and we can see our seed information here. So simply we want to add different seeds. Now, the easiest is obviously things like top level domains. But you may know IP addresses, IP ranges, or even ASNs that you want to enter here. You may also have a list of this from other tools or other services. Once again, you can bring that in as well, and you can either provide them individually or as a long list. So very easy to enter that seed information. And once that seed information is in, what's actually happening in the background is we're performing a scan of the entire IP4 range of the internet twice a week. It is a passive scan that is further enriched by things like Showdown and other sources. And when the results are available, you'll be able to see them here as IP addresses, domains, etc., network services and certificates. And you can view it here if you so wish, but it's easier and more valuable to view it in Surface Command because it'll also provide the relationship between a lot of these different components. So let's do that now. So now within Surface Command, I've actually dropped down to this import feeds menu option under connect configurations here. And this is where it's really important to make sure that this one connector has been scheduled and is running. The connector in question is called the Rapid7 Command Platform Data Connector. And this is really used to ingest all the data from your existing Rapid7 technology. So if you have IVM or the Insight Agent or that ESM data that we've started seeding, that will be brought in through this connector. So just make sure if it's not, that it is scheduled at an appropriate time. I would typically pick sometime at night when network traffic and everything else is low, and then make sure that it is running. This is going to run once a day. So if you've seeded that data, and then you've seeded that after this is run, you will not get the results until the next day within Surface Command. If you want to get them in, seed the data, leave it for half an hour, and then manually run the connector to bring that information in. But because it's scheduled, that data will consistently be updated. So every time we're running a scan against your seed data, anything new that is detected will automatically be brought into Surface Command. So once that's configured, it's scheduled and it's running, you don't have to do anything else. The results will automatically be updated in Surface Command. Now let's look at how we can interact with that data. So under the external attack surface menu item here, we can see those different assets. So we can see IPs, domain certificates, and network services. So let's start with IP addresses. So here we can see a list of discovered IP addresses based on that seed information. Let's just click on the top one, or let's click on this one, and you can see a wealth of information about the IP address, relevant information about its network, potentially what it's associated with. We're adding additional DNS and who is information as well as Showdown, as I mentioned before. I want to get a wealth of information. And then just to show you that everything is linked together via relationships in Surface Command, we can actually view that asset and see its associated relationship. So I can see that IP address that was detected, but we can also see a number of networks. One's clearly Amazon and another network, but I can also see an asset. You can see this is an asset here. It looks like it's a jump box that's associated with the IP address. Now, this is starting to pull in other information and relationships that are in the platform. And if I actually extend the relationships of this asset out, we can see what's associated with that asset as well. So as part of investigation, maybe I want to understand what's associated with that asset. So we can see here now, this particular asset has another few networks, and I can even see the cloud account that's associated with it. Now, this is all demo data, obviously. However, as part of understanding potentially where that IP address is located, what service, where it's located, in this case in the cloud, helps you better understand, if there's something you need to take action on. Maybe it's got an open port or something that, that's not advantageous. It shows you where you can take action. So hugely useful in terms of those relationships as well. And then we could also look at network services as well in a similar fashion. So here we can see a number of different network services that are associated with things like those IP addresses. Once again, if I look at that information, you'll be able to see we've got the IP address that was discovered, the network service that's running, and then obviously the domain it was associated with. And if there are other links and connections here, then we would see those as well. So it's not only useful for understanding what is externally available, but what are the relationships between those components to help you better investigate. And for each of these, you can also specify, whether you own them, whether you've you understood and quantified where they are. Maybe you don't own them. Maybe they're part of another SaaS solution. Maybe an IP address was detected or a host was detected as part of a global certificate, whatever it may be. You can specify whether you actually own those assets or whether they're part of someone else's. And then ultimately, we can bring all of this information together through the dashboards. And if we look at the out-of-the-box dashboards for Surface Command, we can see the external attack surface insights here, giving you an overview of all of that information and giving you easy items where you need to probably take action. So here we can see a summary of the information reporting. It's really broken down into those external IPs associated with network services, domains, and then obviously certificates as well. So here we can see a number of vulnerabilities associated with those network services, and we've broken it down into, focusing on maybe those that are on CISA's known exploited vulnerability list. We can see a breakdown of applications that have been running in your environment together with their versions. And obviously that's how we can detect whether there are vulnerabilities associated with that particular version of an application. And then more importantly, we actually give you an area where you can start focusing on what we class as risky services. So potentially ports that are open, non-SSH or, database services or RDP services that potentially would be very easy for an attacker to gain access to. And then obviously visibility of your certificates as well, not only those that are running, but more importantly, those that have either expired or are due to expire, so you can ensure you don't have any service outages. So very simple to seed the data within Surface Command, add that seed information, IPs, domains, ASNs, etc. Then make sure the command platform connector is running. So we're bringing that information into Surface Command on a daily basis and making sure it's always refreshed. And then interacting with the data under the external attack surface and understanding what you have, looking at those all important insights and where you need to take action. With that, thank you very much.